All right, hey Chipola sports fans, we're here with Coach Jeff Johnson, who's also the athletic director at Chipola. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well, Brian.
Fantastic. Well, Coach, we are still excited about what happened in the Major League postseason just a couple of weeks ago, and we had four guys represented in the postseason. Which did any college in America have that many playing?
I think there were a couple Division ones that did,
Uh-huh.
but other than that, I think we were the only junior college that had that many.
Man, that's fantastic. Well, let's start with Patrick Corbin, the winning pitcher in Game 7 of the World Series. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't, and just happy for him. He struggled a little bit in a couple of games during the semifinals, quarterfinals, getting into the thing, and he finally got it all put together there in that last series, and pitched really well to be the winning pitcher of Game 7, and I think earlier in the earlier games and earlier series, he was moving from the bullpen to a starter, and I think he was trying to, it's a different mindset a lot of times from doing those two things, and but he not that he pitched awful, he pitched good, but not as well as he did that last game. But
Right.
sure proud of him and what he did in that last game, and he's a great competitor, great kid, and it's just great it ended up that way for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also had three other players in the postseason. So we were I can't remember if it was in the division series, but we had Chipola players playing each other, which was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we had the one series there where the Dodgers were playing the Nationals, and Russell Martin was facing Pat Corbin,
Uh-huh.
and Russell got the best of that when he hit a double, ended up being the game-winning hit during that series, and the Nationals came back and ended up winning the series. But that was probably one of the toughest moments of my coaching career to watch two of you guys
That's
going
like
at,
pulling for two of your
yeah,
youngins or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
going at each other and all that, and Russell won the battle and was proud of him, but then you hurt for Pat,
Yeah,
and that as
exactly.
well. But just thankful to have some guys that are playing at that level and playing those type games to where they're able to compete against one another
Right.
as well.
And then also the Braves had one of the best teams they've had in years, and we had two guys playing for the Braves in Adam Duvall, an outfielder who just had a great postseason, and then Tyler Flowers, the everyday catcher.
Yeah, Adam, was in AAA most of the year this year until the last third of the season, and was, I think he was leading the league AAA in home runs, and he really got it going again.
Uh-huh.
He's been an all-star, been in the home run derby, and I think he changed his swing. I think he went back to some things this year and got himself going again. And then, in the playoffs, that first series had some really big hits and some big home runs as well. And then Tyler, being one of the, he and Brian McCann kind of split the catching duties this time, and being where he is, and had a great year as well, and catching in the playoffs as well. Of
Yeah,
course.
so I mean, absolutely fantastic to see four of our guys, competing at the highest level, and then at the end for Pat Corbin, to get a World Series ring, and that's obviously the first Chipola alumnus to ever get a World Series ring.
Yes, the only one I know of
Yeah.
anyway, Brian, and before my time if it did happen.
Yeah.
But just proud of Pat and what he represents and the type of person he is, and a guy who came from New York down here to Chipola and stayed with us 1 year, is drafted in the, I think, top of the third round or bottom of the second round, one or the other there, and just had a great career. And like I said earlier, just a class act, does things the right way. Had the elbow surgery a few years ago,
Uh-huh.
and he's an all-star game, had the elbow surgery, had to come back from that. Took him about 2 years to get himself back healthy and get going, and now have the rewards of wearing a big ring here sooner
Yeah,
or later.
that's fantastic. Now let's talk about Russell Martin. Russell is probably nearing the end of his career. I mean, he certainly has fewer years ahead of him than behind him in the major leagues. What do you think about him? You think he'll play 2 or 3 more years?
I don't know what happened with Russ. I talked with him. I went up and watched a game this year, and I was talking with him a little bit, and I think he's kind of to a point in his career that he wanted to get with the Dodgers and have a chance to win the World Series, and I think he's in the decision-making process whether he wants to do it for
Right.
an extended amount of time,
Uh-huh.
or even another year. And so I think he's got to go through that. Kind of like Jose had to go through that this
Right.
past year of hey, I played, I've made a lot of money doing this thing, and to get to a point to where father time and my family and everything else more important. I need to spend some time with them. So
Right.
I don't know for sure which avenue he's going to take. Just talking with him, he was in the decision making process at that time.
Yeah, okay. But definitely Duvall and Flowers and Corbin right in the middle of their careers and just
Yeah, all those guys are, right in, Pat I think is 28, and Adam's I think 1 year, 2 years older. He's probably 30, and then Tyler's easing on up there a little bit as well now. So they're in their prime of their career. I think Tyler just extended his contract again for another year. So proud of him for that, and hopefully these other guys do. Pat's got a long-term contract, and then hopefully Adam's contract comes out well.
That's great. Well, Coach, while we're talking about alumni, we got something big planned every year, and coming up. Is it in January or?
We're going to do it January 24th through the 26th this time.
Okay.
And we're going to try to do it before our season started this time, but now they've said we can play a week earlier. So we're just going to play a game on Sunday. I want to have a chance to spend more time with my players versus worrying about games and all that, my former players, and instead of worrying about games and everything there. So, we're excited about doing it a little different this time and having a little more time to spend. And, Nathan Marks helps me with that a lot. We're going to meet this coming week and just kind of get everything planned out. We're trying to maybe do a few other things in here to just to do it a little different and bring a little bit more back for our alumni and give them more things to do as well when they're here. But just excited about wouldn't do our banquet thing again on Friday night like we have in the past, but it's excited to get everybody back.
So that'll be January 24th, 25th, and 26th,
Yes.
2020.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so the event that the general public is most interested in is the Home Run Derby and getting to meet players and get autographs signed and that kind of stuff. So that'll be on Saturday the 25th.
Yeah, and we'll have our banquet there on Friday night, and hopefully we can get, I'm waiting to try to get some confirmations. Jose's told me he's going to be here. I'm waiting on Pat to see if he's going to be able to make it, and Russ and Adam and Tyler and all those guys, former guys. And then, we'll have a ton of our other alumni here as well. A bunch of our guys are in minor league baseball. Bowden Francis, who had an outstanding year this year in Double A's, and he's kicking on the door, right now in the big leagues, and Isaiah Gilliam, and I hate to start naming, but a lot of those guys will be back as well. So just be happy to see all of them again.
And Coach, one of the things that just resonates with me about that event, while we have the Tyler Flowers and the Pat Corbins and the Jose Bautistas who have excelled, we've got other people who they played at Chipola for a couple of years. Maybe they played a little D1 ball, and they have not made a living in baseball, but they have made great lives, and they're great people, and they have good careers, and they're successful.
Well, it's crazy. We talk about the guys who play in the major leagues, but your Nathan Marks, who runs an insurance company, who's been very successful. Grant Conyers has his own business. Greg Albritton's, Chad Ramsey's. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And these guys who played are very, very, very successful in their businesses and give a lot back to us financially to try to help us have a program, run a national type program as well. So you were just as proud of those guys. They just don't get in front of the TVs as much, where we talk about them as much. But those are the guys, and I can't say enough for all those guys I just named of what they do to help put on this alumni weekend and help us to promote, finance, and take care of these guys, feed and everything else when they come back here.
And they're just winners. They love to take any challenge, and they love to excel.
There's no question about it, and fortunately I get to see those guys a lot more, because most of those guys live right around here, so I get to see them, and they don't get the credit they deserve sometimes. Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we are so proud of everything that happened with the alumni this year, and we're looking forward to the baseball season. I know we're right in the middle of the pre-conference season. When does conference season kick off?
We'll start back. We start that first weekend. I think we're going to play Wallace Dothan on Sunday of that alumni weekend. That way anybody wants to hang around, they can watch us play a little bit. And then our conference season will start the second week of March, I think it is. I think March the 10th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken right now. And we'll run through that. We've got a really good non-conference schedule again. I don't know who made the schedule up, but it's very competitive. I can tell you that. So we better get going in a hurry and get ourselves ready to play.
Well, visit ChipolaAthletics.com to find out when and where the Indians are going to be. And again, the baseball alumni weekend, January 24th, 25th, 26th, and call us and plan to be there for that.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you, my man.